Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It is really hot here in central Indiana. I had to take a shower after mowing the yard and doing some yard work. I also taught yoga class this morning. Tuesdays are one of my favorite days of the week because, as much as I love all of the things I'm committed to in the evenings during the week, Tuesdays are the only day I don't have anything during the evening, I should say. I am I do have something in the morning. Like I said, I teach a yoga class. It's been a few days, maybe even like a week since I did one of these. So I wanted to get on here and talk about something that's been weighing on my heart. So I haven't been doing my 15 minutes of yoga a day, but I have been doing, meditation. But we do meditation during our class on Tuesdays. So I'm still in it, just not consistent, which is my biggest thing anyways. I'm great at starting new things, I'm great at making a plan, I'm great at getting all hyped up and excited, not great at the follow through. So, something I'm working on. We all have things that we're working on. So today's subject I want to talk about that has been on my mind is comparison. So I'm certain I'm not alone in this, but have you ever just been scrolling through social media? And there's the first problem scrolling through social media. Uh, every other day, I want to completely delete all of my platforms and just be free of it. But something keeps drawing me back. One is that I do some work with a few nonprofits and we utilize social media to share information and things like that. So that's one reason. But, if I had better self control, I could just get on and do that and then leave and then be free. But as someone who is at home a lot with their kids, and someone who doesn't see a lot of adults, I like the idea of keeping up with some of my friends and family. However, social media has a great way of really driving this comparison game. We see other people's lives, we see their highlight reels, and some people share the hard things too. And our number one reaction is to compare, usually, at least in my life. So what happens is you're scrolling and you see something cool. And so, we can celebrate those people, absolutely, and should. But sometimes you get trapped in this comparison game. So you're like, oh, this must be nice. They have everything that I've ever wanted. They have an easy life, like this is easier for them or whatever it is. Their journey has been amazing. And it gets hard. Like you start to wonder what's wrong with you. Why aren't you this far? Why don't you have this thing that someone else has? Why isn't your house Pinterest worthy? Why aren't your kids straight A students? Why aren't you on a 7-day solo cruise? There are just so many things that we get caught in and caught up in, and it really does no good. It causes discontentment, it causes maybe some anger, some grief of the life that you thought you wanted or that you really want and don't have. Causes some grief in your journey, like maybe you think you should be further along in the life journey than you are. It's just hard. And again, every other day at least, I just want to delete everything and just not go there. Um, so I wanted to talk about that and kind of normalize it. Like if you are feeling that way, you're not alone in that. So that's helpful to know that your struggles are usually not just yours. A lot of us struggle with the same thing. We just don't always talk about it, or maybe we just don't have time to talk about it. Maybe it's just not something fun to post about, which usually isn't. So I wanted to say that. And not just social media, but life in general. You are in a yoga class and the person next to you is doing the best downward facing dog pose. And you're like, oh man, my flexibility is not anywhere near that person's. Or maybe you're comparing yourself to the teacher, or maybe you're comparing yourself to your neighbor, the person right next to you doing it. And it rarely leads to anything good. So I wanted to talk about that first, to highlight that you're not alone. And second, just to know that not many good things come out of those feelings, out of the comparison game, unless you're using that to inspire you or motivate you to do something else. Maybe you have a friend, or a coworker or something that's doing something really cool that you're like, I kind of want to try that. I have that a lot, actually, because if you know me in person, you know I have 5,000 hobbies. So I've had people come to me and ask me about like embroidery, about painting, about yoga, about martial arts, running, all the things, and gardening, plants, animals, stuff like that. And hopefully it's inspiring and motivational. And hopefully they're not getting caught in that comparison game, because I feel like we lose people that way. Sometimes if you're doing well or you're doing something well, maybe even if it's like some sort of craft that someone else does. Let's say photography, for instance. You're doing photography, you love it, but your friend does it so much better. And you can react in two ways. You can either, one, be really upset about it, get down on yourself, maybe even quit doing it, comparing yourself to your friend. You're like, well, they're much better than me. Why am I even doing this? Or you can use it as inspiration and motivation. Nash, if you're going to be in here, you have to be quiet. Come here. Come here. Come on. He just had to be in here. So you can also use it to inspire yourself or motivate yourself, or ask them, "Hey, I love your work. Could you, or would you be willing to show me how you do this?" Or um sometimes I get that too. And sometimes people's lives are really busy. So maybe they don't have time to show you how to do that. Maybe you just ask them to point you in the right direction, or just maybe you want to know more about them. Like, what makes you love this craft? What got you here? Where did you start? What is your favorite thing to photograph? Things like that. Ashy, no. You don't have to be angry right now. Okay? You don't have to be angry. It's just the trash truck, I think. Um, so you can channel that energy elsewhere instead of comparing yourself, being super competitive. You're going to have to go inside now. 1 second. Okay, I say all this because this is something I struggle with too. Comparison, being competitive. I think because I'm so intuitive and so self critical, sometimes it leads to more angry feelings, or feelings of like, I'm not good enough, that kind of thing. I have to have the same talk with myself all the time. I can say, Vicky, where are these feelings coming from? Is this a them problem, or is this a you problem? And you know what? Comparison and uh, being jealous and things like that is almost always a me problem. And I know that, and I admit that to myself. And I think that helps me to channel that energy. Where is this anger coming from? Where is this grief coming from? What is it? And what can I do with that feeling? What can I do to make this either better or do something better with it? Because honestly, sitting here and looking through social media and comparing myself to everyone else is probably not going to lead to anything good. So I can, again, be angry and sad and filled with grief or whatever it is, or I can say to myself, is this something I want to do? What is it that I am wanting? What is it that I want to change? Is this a healthy thing to do? And then work on that. Like, if you, again, I'll use the photography example again. If that's something you want to get better at, then work on that. Focus on that instead of pointing out these people and being angry with them and thinking it's a problem that they have. It could be something that you need to work on within yourself. Something else, our society is all about dividing us. so much division, so much anger, so much sadness, so much hate when I feel like a lot of that just stems from either miscommunication or just the feeling of needing to belong, the feeling of wanting to be around people that are like you or have similar goals. And so instead of falling into that trap of comparing and just feeling not good enough, we can channel that energy into doing something with it. So I feel like I had more examples, and I usually write this down, not like a whole script, but at least some talking points so that I'm not sitting here rambling like I am right now. Um, but yeah, that's the biggest thing on my mind right now is just this comparison thing. And whenever those feelings arise in myself, I have to stop, take a pause, and be like, what's going on? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I angry toward this person who is not doing anything intentional toward me? And how can I go forward with this? In other news, it has taken me so long to get back to this because we've been working on a greenhouse. We've been building a greenhouse from scratch. I sourced the windows for free, and then while we were building it, we realized 3 were rotten beyond beyond use, so we couldn't fix them. So we had to make our own custom windows, which took a little bit longer. Maybe I'll make a video on that sometime. And just weird health things. I have like a rash all over my arms, and I can't figure it out. It happened after I mowed the grass last week, but there's no poison ivy or anything up there where I mowed, and the heat makes it worse. And there's just been some weird things going on. And so that kind of brings me back to that point too. Sometimes when we're comparing or we're angry at someone or something or an idea, sometimes there's other things going on too, like health related issues or just strange things in the world in general. And so sometimes when you're comparing and feeling those feelings of not enough, not worth it, not whatever, there could just be a lot going on in general. And so that's when we need to give ourselves some grace. Feel the feelings. I'm all about feeling the feelings. Let yourself feel the feelings, and then you have to continue forward. You have to not move on in a sense that you completely forget the struggle, but move forward in a way that you're making some sort of progress. So, yeah, there's my rambling for the day. So, if you're finding yourself in that comparison trap, stop and think about why that's happening. Why are you feeling that way? Why is this person or thing or event or whatever causing some of those feelings in you? What is it that you want? What is it that you want to work on? And if you're in my life coaching group on Facebook right now, we have a group working on goals, personal goals. And so if you're in need of identifying what it is that's causing you to feel this way and you want to work towards some sort of goal, reach out to me and maybe I can help you. We have some worksheets. Each person has a pretty different goal this time. Sometimes I group people together based on whether their goals or whatever it is that they're working on is similar. But right now, everyone has some pretty different goals going on, and it's pretty great and fun to watch people write this down and make a plan and track their progress and all the fun stuff. So I hope you're having a great day, great week, and stop comparing yourself. You're unique, you are loved, you are worthy, you're all the good things. Keep telling yourself that. Work toward whatever it is that you need to heal, or if it's a goal that you're working toward, make those steps. So I'll be back again another time to chat about another topic.